CERT outside of Austin. Welcome everybody. Day 3 of Superbikes at Texas for MotoAmerica. And we've got our first race of this final day of activity, and a day filled with racing activity. And great to have you with us here. Hi everybody, I'm Greg Creamer, joined by Roger Hayden. And of course we have Jamie Howe with us, covering all the activity down in pit lane. And this one's going to be a fun one. This is the Roland Sands Designs Mission Foods Super Hooligan National Championship B main. And the reason that we're having this B main is this class has blown up. It has gone from, 20 entries or thereabouts to almost 50 at a couple of races. Here you can see the points in the overall scenario after yesterday's race. And Tyler O'Hara up over 25 now by Jeremy McWilliams. They came in dead even, but Jeremy a big wreck that took him out of a finish. DeBrino there in third, Corey West fourth, Stefano Mesa on the Energica e-bike getting a podium yesterday. Absolutely phenomenal what happened for him. Let's continue on looking at some of the points here. And there is also, we just want to remind everybody, the air-cooled American V-Twin Challenge that is in this. And there, Hak Mazada pretty much had that one wrapped up coming in here. So he's out there riding for fun. But it's pretty close still between Brandon Quaid, Charlie Condit, Michael Smith, even in there at this stage coming in. And we'll see what's going to happen. And a number of these riders are going to be in this Super Hooligan B main that is coming up right now, Roger. So this one should be pretty interesting.
Yeah, as you go back to the B main at Laguna, it was one of the best races of the weekend. So I'm looking forward to this. These guys are, even though it's the B main, they want to come out here and they want to do good and hopefully just kind of grow and get better. And next year, I'm sure their goal is to make the big race.
Absolutely, and let's take a look at the starting lineup. It is going to be 12 riders deep, and we're looking forward to this. Again, this race is a B main, as it's called, but you can see starting on the pole here is Lucas Gibo on the number 407, then Charlie Condit. He's one of the guys running in that air-cooled challenge points on the 104, then the 918 of Michael Smith. Brandon Quaid getting ready to go. Take a look here quickly at the next couple of rolls. The green flag is coming up here pretty quickly, so we want to be ready to go on this one. As I said, Mazada is out there right now, starting at the back. The other guy of note there is Kyle Onsorg, and he's usually a front runner in this category. Had some real issues with his bike early, and so he's going to be starting in that back row and waiting for everybody else to sort of lock into position here. We had a report that the 189 of Josh Nichols may have been having a little bit of an issue out there as well. There's Brendan Murphy getting into position, and so getting ready to go here. And again, this is the B main, and it is scheduled to be 5 laps. 5 laps. When you think about how long this track is, that's still a pretty good long run there. And a couple of gaps here in the field. Charlie Condit not out there as they head out now. And that's the green. We are racing right now. So pretty good start there by Lucas Gibo, as you would imagine, dropping the hammer nicely. Big lead, though, by the time he got into turn 1. He just nailed it. Yeah,
really good start for him. And, when you get that good start, I think it helped him get the run up the hill. We talked about how steep that run is into turn 1 and getting that good start there. And just kind of didn't make any mistakes there into turn 1.
Yeah, that's on the Warrior built, the Harley-Davidson Pan America FXRP, so doing a nice job. But behind him, already a pretty good little scrap, shaping up for the second and third spots. A couple of different lines into the S's there.
Yeah, you can see that, and I think, too, when you're behind somebody going through those S's, sometimes it's a little hard to follow, so you kind of get a little bit offline. You can't really see where the curb is, but all those guys looks like they got a really good clean start there. That turn 1 can get really tight, even with 12 guys out there, and everybody was able to make it through clean.
Yeah, Michael Smith on the 918, the Quaid Harley-Davidson lowrider, hanging on right now to that second spot. Under pressure, though, by Brendan Murphy on his teammate, the Quaid Racing team. That's a Harley-Davidson Dyna lowrider. So got a couple of teammates going after each other here. There's a look at Quaid at this point on the 900 as well. So there's a lot of them out there. And what's interesting here is you've got some, of those air-cooled V-twin challenge bikes. And there are a couple of actual liquid cool bikes. Oh, and an early off in this one as well. And these great corner marshals out here trying to get that bike up and squared away. Can't quite pick up a number at this stage. We'll try and get that to you. Looks like the 507. That's Joseph Gale, and Joseph on the another of the Quaid Harley Davidsons, and so there's a lot of them in this field. They've got a huge team here. Started in the 8th spot, so problem for him. But up front, it is the number 407, Lucas Gibo from pole, and doing a really nice job. He's drawn away pretty easily here, isn't he?
Yeah, pulling away. You can just see this first lap. He's really been just kind of consistently hitting his marks, and I think it's kind of when you go into the race for him, I feel like that's what his plan would be. You know, just go out there, hit your marks, and if you do that, everything should work out.
Well, the interesting thing, too, to watch here, folks, if this is your first time seeing the Super Hooligans, you know, these are bikes designed not for road racing, and you can see how high the bars are, and that just presents a whole different riding style. Then you go back to the 918 here of Michael Smith. Those bars down a little bit lower. You think that might give him a little bit of an advantage on a road race?
Yeah, I think on the long straightaway for drafting, you know, for being in the tuck or whatever, might be a little bit easier for him. But I think for these guys, the big thing is going to be what's comfortable for the corners. You talk about these S's through here, how hard it is to change directions. The bars are up a little bit. It might give you a little more leverage to be able to you know, these are Harleys. They're a little bit heavier than your average road race bike, so you might want a little extra leverage to change directions.
Oh, and a problem here for the 415, Brendan Murphy on that bike. Oh, he is frustrated. Didn't see anything like big plumes of smoke or whatever, but it definitely has come to a stop, and he is upset. And, you know, you think about it. You travel a long ways. You want to come here and run. He came all the way from Burlingame, California, and suddenly that bike lets go when he gets his opportunity to actually get it out and race. Beautiful looking bike, isn't it? Let's see if we can see what happens here. Hand up right away. Did a great job of letting everybody know behind him. That's one of the Guardo brothers there that are always so fun to watch. That's Aaron Guardo that went by him, and he gets it over to the side and just says, all right, it's off the track, and just dumps it. He's obviously frustrated, and he's concerned here. Make sure it's all shut off, but you know, you come a long way. You end up in the B main. This is your one shot, and then something happens, and that hurts.
Yeah, it hurts, and you know, kicking the guardrail probably hurt a little bit too.
Yeah.
But you know, you spend all that money, that time, and the effort to come here and have that mechanical. But you know, that's just kind of, and you'll learn that it's just part of racing. It happens, and you know, luckily for him, he got to come here and ride an awesome track. And next year, if he comes back, he's going to have a little experience.
Well, and that's one of the things that, you know, to me is so compelling about Super Hooligans is the concept. And it's not really a, you know, just run what you brung thing. There are some rules and regulations on a problem as well. That's, Charlie Condit. Boy, we've had some guys struggling out here right now. But you look at how this field is blown up, and the reason is because if you've got a road bike, there's probably a place that you can run it in, you know, a category you could run it here. And so what happens is you get the group that are always coming to these races and following the whole national championship, but it provides an opportunity. And we'll see. I mean, in this race, I'm willing to bet there's 15 guys from Texas that don't run the full season, but they have an opportunity to, and from other places as well, they have an opportunity to come and race at the home of the World Championship Motorcycle U.S. Grand Prix. That's pretty cool.
And not only that, just be a part of a professional event. You know, at MotoAmerica, big race, you know, huge crowds coming out this weekend, watch these guys. So, you know, it's got to be a cool opportunity to, I mean, you can go home and say you raced a professional event, and being a motorcycle fan that all these guys are, it has to be something that they probably really look forward to, put a lot of work into, and able to come out here and make that happen. And, you know, when they ride out on the warm-up lap or the cool-down lap and they look around and they see all the fans here, it's going to be a pretty cool feeling.
Well, I was talking about guys from Texas. Our leader right now out of Largo Vista on that Warrior-built bike, he just turned his fastest lap, and he went a 240.7, and that margin had been at about 2.5 to 3 seconds on that lap alone. He uncorked one, Roger, and that margin has gone up to 5.5 seconds. Lucas Gibo is really finding speed.
Yeah, and just in that first sector alone, just went red, best win of the race, almost a second quicker. So I think whenever, even for these guys, when you're riding and you see your lap timer and you're getting faster, confidence starts growing.
Yeah.
And just wants to push a little bit harder. He qualified at a 40.3, so I'm sure he's going to try to go out there and see if he can't do a little better than that.
Well, he's on the cusp, isn't he? He's got a heck of a run going here. Here's a look at the 918 of Michael Smith. He's out of Gilbert, Arizona, so not too far of a tow for him on that Quaid Harley-Davidson Lowrider S. And he right now has a comfortable margin as well, back to the 900 of Brandon Quaid himself. And then Aaron Godardo. And well, I'll tell you, we have seen Aaron and his brother on the number 66, Sean Godardo. They have put on some fabulous battles amongst themselves. We've often seen them racing. And look at this. This is interesting. Podium is under contest here. Aaron is coming after him.
Also, you go back to Michael Smith there. He was able to pull back almost 6 or 7 tenths in that second sector. So that's a big gain in one sector.
Yeah, this is going back and forth here. And you can see it. Quaid on that 900. And Godardo, very different looking bikes, obviously, and that's one of the things that makes this so cool. The HD Pan America for Aaron Godardo, and for the 900 of Quaid, a Lowrider S. But that's the magic, is you get these different bikes, but they're able to be, sort of fit in and run competitively with each other. It looks like you're absolutely right. Brandon Quaid has responded in the most recent 2 sectors after Godardo uncorked a really strong first sector.
Also, too, for these guys, you get the opportunity to build these bikes and go and race against other people and see where your bike is and where you can improve your bike. Where else can you really get that good opportunity besides here on at an awesome racetrack?
Awesome racetrack and up against some pretty stout competition, so you can find exactly where you sit here. So we have 2 laps to go. Gibo up the road now by almost 8, so just a tick over 8 seconds. But how close is that mark? It went from 3.5 to 1.7 as Godardo on that last sector made up over half a second there alone. And this battle for the final podium spot is starting to get pretty stout here. And it looks like, in the twisty bits, Godardo looks to have some really good pace. Brandon Quaid maybe a little bit better on that straight.
And he was, at 1.7 seconds back, of the podium that last lap, but it was almost 2 seconds quicker. So he keeps up that pace, he's going to be right there on the last lap.
Well, here is Gibo, and have to wait a little bit here to see just what that margin is right now, as he is really just putting in a series of really stonking laps here and drawing away. Here's a look at that long, that's a kilometer long, folks, 0.6 of a mile. You max out speed on these bikes long before you get into turn 12, I think. And
also, too, braking hard. See how hard he's having to brake that after that long straightaway. That hairpin there in turn 12 is really tight.
It is. It's a really tight turn. It leads into a sequence of incredibly tight corners as Michael Smith now comes through. And Michael obviously knows not a lot of time left in this one. Here's our battle for the podium, and they are side by side. And Godardo getting a really good run through the twisty stuff, getting a good run out of 11, and he carries just enough speed to get the nose in front of Brandon Quaid. New podium finisher here, new 3rd place. Aaron Godardo dialing it up late in this one.
He's found a lot of speed toward the end of this race, and just looking at their lap times, how much faster he's been getting each lap. You see a mistake.
Yep, it looked like Quaid was maybe trying to figure out how he's going to maybe make a move back around Aaron, and then missed a shift, didn't he? Looked like he was hunting for a gear there. Meanwhile, white flag coming out for our pole sitter as he comes by. 1 to go in our B main, and he sets the first lap underneath a 240 at a 239.4. So he's just relentless in his pace right now.
Yeah, quite a bit quick, a second quicker than he qualified. So,
yeah, it's impressive.
Just better every lap, and now he's got over a 13-second lead.
Yeah, he is just right now. he is on another level, no question about it. And Michael Smith doing still a really impressive job. But let's look up and look how much Godardo has been able to make up. It was key for him, Roger, to be able to lead into 12, wasn't it? Because now he gets into where that bike really shines.
And I think able now, after he makes that pass, he's able to kind of focus on his own riding and his own lines. When you're behind somebody, sometimes you kind of follow and you get stuck kind of following their lines. Now he makes the pass for the podium, and 1 lap to go. He doesn't have it in the bag, so he's going to have to keep his head down and keep charging.
Yeah, I mean, the margin just sort of flip-flopped, didn't it? It was 1.7 when Brandon had it the previous lap. It's 1.7 now with Godardo in third and Brandon back and forth. Brandon doesn't have anybody really pressuring him. Josh Coombs in fifth is back about 10 seconds from those guys. So no pressure here from Brandon to be worrying about from behind him. So he can just try and see if there's anything he can do. A little wide there. But, you know, the interesting thing is sometimes that guy passes you, you start watching him and realizing where he's quick and what he's doing. That can help you find a little speed. And
also for different sectors of the track, I mean, you can see he's starting to close that gap back down to third just in that first sector there.
And here we go into this turn 11. And Godardo, bigger margin than he had into it last time. And look at Brandon Quaid trying to square that corner up. He understands I have got to get this big thing turned and get on the hammer. As our leader, Lucas Gibo, well up the road. This is into turn 15. Really tightens up here. He's got a big margin. He knows it, so he doesn't have to run super hard. Although his last lap was his best lap. So I think he's just out there having fun right now.
And right now in the last lap, probably not going to try to do a better lap. Nice lead there. Just kind of protect that and bring it home. Only a couple corners left from right here.
Yeah, hit your marks. Tricky turn 19 here. Falls away as you turn into it. And now last corner, and it is a tight one. Make sure you get it down, get through the gears, clip that apex, and there you go. Onto the front straight from the pole. Lucas Gibo on the number 407. That is the Warrior built Harley-Davidson Pan America. Absolutely great run. Here comes Michael Smith into that final turn. Good run for him as well, all the way from Gilbert, Arizona, on one of the multiple Quaid Harley-Davidson in the field. This is the Lowrider S, and he's going to come by and put in a great number. And for all our talk about Lucas Gibo not pushing on the last lap, he went even quicker. But look at this. Great run by Brandon Quaid. 1 corner to go. In that last sector, he really dialed it up. And it's going to be all a matter of, does Godardo keep the lines clean? He does, and he'll bring it home on the podium. But Brandon Quaid did not go quietly. He came back at him.
That one sector there, that last sector, sector 3, almost 2 seconds quicker, so you could see that big gap he had went away pretty quick.
So a great run from pole by Lucas Gibo, Michael Smith in second. A wonderful battle for the podium, and it goes to Aaron Godardo.
Mission Super Hooligan National Championship coverage is brought to you by Mission Foods, the world's leading brand for tortillas and wraps. By Dunlop, the official tire of the MotoAmerica Championship Series. And by Roland Sands Design, built for the ride. Go to RolandSands.com.
Great view of downtown Austin right there. And you can see the corner workers out there giving high fives and congratulations to our racers. And there is a look at Lucas Gibo. And man, did he give it a ride. Pole to the win, and a dominant one at that. Fastest lap in the last lap, a 2:39.4. Big margin there. Michael Smith, a solid ride into second. And then the real battle here between Godardo and Brandon Quaid. Quaid had it for much of the race. Godardo came after him late, got in front, and then Quaid responded on the last lap and closed it back up again, and just missing on that podium. Josh Coombs in that 5th spot, and then Bob Burbico down a little bit. But look at that. That's one of the e-bikes. 3 of them running in the Roland Sands Design Super Hooligans National Championship this week of the Zero RF. So a great run there. And here come first and second on their cool down lap for the guy on the left there, Lucas Gibo. It's a victory lap.
It's got to feel pretty good. Best lap of the day, the victory lap, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He put in a couple of really good ones, last two down into the 39s, and on these bikes, that's getting after it. You know, you think about where it sits in the field there, that would have put him mid-field in qualifying. So good run here. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. There's Gibo on the outside, just got a great start, and with the middle guy, Charlie Condit, not able to go after it. Michael Smith slotting into second. And looked like he was, you know, there was a good scrap going on behind him for a little bit. And Smith was able to stay with Gibo, you know, within, you know, 4 or 5 seconds for a while. And then Gibo just absolutely took off. And that was all she wrote at that point. You can see Brandon Quay. Well, first, let's take a look at this moment here. And a real problem there for the 415, Brendan Murphy. He was really frustrated. Then this scrap started to shape up. Brandon Quay sitting in third. But Aaron Godardo was coming, Roger.
Yeah, Aaron, just those last 2 laps, was able to find quite a bit of speed there and was able to make the pass there in the draft on the back straightaway.
Good look here at Michael Smith working his way around and hanging a pretty lonely race there in second. But at the end, Lucas Gibo able to bring it home from pole. You can see how elated he was. Really an impressive ride for him. And bringing it home with Smith in second. Doing a nice job here. So for Lucas Gibo, you know, that we were talking about, you know, you come here, he's from Largo Vista, Texas. So he's racing in his home state at this facility. This is going to be one for the memory books for him. He's going to relish this one, I think, for a pretty long time.
Come win at a track like the Circuit of the Americas, that's a pretty big deal. I mean, this is one of those tracks that you come to with, you know, MotoGP being here,
absolutely.
F1, IndyCar, just has that different feeling.
And that's when you put the grandkid on the knee and go, let me tell you about when I was able to win a pro race here at Circuit of the Americas. So look at that grin. You can see it underneath that helmet, and well earned. And I mean, all he did was go faster every lap. So that's impressive. Yeah, enjoying this moment to be sure. I bet it is out there. Hot, but happy. No question about that. And it's going to be interesting to hear, too, from Aaron Godardo about that battle with Quaid, because he ran him down, but then Brandon came after him just a little bit. And these guys are all just relishing this moment right now. And obviously a big shout out as well to Josh Coombs in 5th. And on the e-bike, Bob Burbico on that 0 SF doing a really solid run up there in 6th. And, you know, you think about the e-bike, we saw Stefano Mesa on the Energica getting on the podium overall yesterday. So these e-bikes are starting to show some pretty solid potential here. And getting it lined up here is Aaron Godardo, giving the crew a little bit of a hand and backing it up, which means we are closing in on heading down there and hearing from our podium runners in this Roland Sands Design Mission Foods Super Hooligan National Championship B-Main. And they are mighty happy, and I think Jamie is ready.
And our podium is now all in line. Just talked to Lucas Gibo. I said, now this is your home race, right? And he said, well, it is now, taking home the victory, a big victory here at Circuit of the Americas. You started from that pole position. To get the opportunity to come out here and race on a track like this with the fans out here around you, what do you say about this MotoAmerica competition?
I love it. I love this competition. I love this track. It's my first time here. And I'm looking forward to coming more and getting better at the track and getting faster. So
the opportunity of having the B-Main and getting more track time and getting to get out there in race conditions, what were you able to learn today?
Just more of the track. It's a very technical track. So getting more track time, getting more seat time is detrimental out here.
Congratulations on that victory. Go ahead and celebrate with your family and friends. Man, to move over to our second place finisher, Michael Smith. It's his 3rd race of the year, and you're able to capitalize, bring home another podium position. How'd you do it today?
Just my whole team. Thanks to MotoAmerica and Roland Sands for putting on this whole thing, the Hooligan thing, letting us air cool guys bring our bikes out and race this B race. It's a lot of fun. I couldn't have done it without Quaid Racing Team, and he's one of my team members. We've got a bunch of other fast guys out here that can make this a really fun, interesting race. So
I've seen a lot of fans that are like, man, I wish I could get out there. I wish I could do that. To all of the fans that are standing here listening to this right now, what do you tell them about just taking the chance and doing it?
You can. If you like to go fast on your bike, I bought a Harley 3 years ago, and here I am. That's my first bike.
Congratulations. I'm going to move over to our third place finisher, Aaron Gerardo, at that intense battle right there at the end. You had to fight to stay on this position, to be able to get this, to get up here to celebrate. How'd you do it? What do you take away?
I just kept it focused, riding this Pan America that we put together. I rode it at Daytona, a couple laps, made the first race, and I rode it a couple times at Monterey, and we just got the bike back and we loaded them up and took them straight to Texas. It's a little hot out here. Today's a nice day, but I think being able to put some effort in, taking a Pan America from the street, putting some parts on it and take it racing has been really cool. My brother and I are super stoked, and thanks again for everything. Roland Sands, Harley Davidson, and MotoAmerica.
The opportunity to do this, you talked about it, you and your brother, it's that elbow grease, it's the drive, it's the passion for the sport, the reward that you now get for it. How does it compare?
The reward of this is great. My brother and I build everything, we race everything, we design, paint, fabricate, drive everything across the country when we need to. Just whatever we have to do, we'll do, work all night. I'll do anything with my brother as long as we're having fun, and shoot, we get to race the motorcycles.
That's what the sport's all about. Congratulations. Greg?
Yeah, that is absolutely great. And, to me, the best selling point that we've heard this whole season was Michael Smith saying, look, I bought my first bike 3 years ago. I just finished second at Circuit of the Americas. That's what this class is about right here.
Yeah, and get to come home and celebrate with your kids there on the podium, come home with the trophy. I mean, it's just going to be great memories. Not like talking about doing it with his brother. It just reminds me of me and my brother. So just really cool to see.
Yeah, you know how special that can be when you're out there with your brothers running here. We're going to take a little bit of a break. When we come back, we've got a special segment with a special guest.